One main world, one creation dream.
Are going to have like a lot of menus. Okay, once more guys, remember that every one of these or any of these buttons have the name and everything, but apart from that I place a button over it. I put the name or the short name. Yeah, thank you Basti Soriano for telling him I just think the same. He's been a Karen, but don't worry, I already blocked it from error. To avoid these upset players that doesn't want to learn but they want the code. I understand that, but that's not the way. Okay, all right, so guys, moving back, as you see here we have like the different buttons. All right, so once you have everything in your menu, we are going to start set up everything. Okay, so remember that yesterday we do the activities, so you can see here that the activity names I got here, sign as an example, is right here. Okay, sign, comedy, rap battle, chord draw, whatever you wanted to put actually. But also, most important, to create this kind of menu, you can group by colors. So all the different activities that use the voice that you can play with the mic are going to be in color blue. All the other activities that use items that are more related to create draws or statues or design or do some kind of arts, as you see, is going to be in purple. You can copy that idea. And the mini games that are related with water are going to be with this color. Also, you can see the category here and an icon. A lot of you were asking me this: how do I get these specific icons? Okay. And that's very simple, guys. If you want to get new icons here, you have to go here, and in blocks or in props, you can create an item. As you see, I create an item, I change the icon. And once you create the item here, as an example, this one, okay, you can go to the UI editor. Let's use this one. And you can add a picture. And if you go to props library, you can scroll down, and in custom, you can see your items. Also, you can use like miniatures for your system. As you see here, this is a miniature that I made and you can use it. But careful guys, when you use miniatures, sometimes it doesn't load, okay? Just to show you a trick here. But moving back to this, once you have everything done here, once you have your icons, what you are going to do is to move to the trigger options, okay? And we are going to start set up everything, okay? Okay, so what we are going to do, guys, is that we are going to create our first part, okay? Remember, guys, I'm going to focus this minicamp. We learned a lot of the UE. So you are going to create a group and you are going to name it display, okay? What it's going to do, this group of triggers, is just going to show the menu. So I'm going to change the name for this because it's in Spanish, and I'm going to put show UE, okay? That's going to be the name. And how you do is you only need to add two things. The first one is when the game is created. For this, just go here, game logic, and when the game is created, this is around here in some part. Okay, this is confusing, but I think is when this one, when the game is created, the first one. And now you need to add an action, okay? And the action is that we are going to change this. Okay, so first, let's do this. Let's keep this trigger on. Now we are going to create this one, okay? So once more, you are going to rename it show. You're going to put the name show, okay? And this one is going to show the UE, but remember this UE is only going to be shown to the first player to enter to the map. That means that is going to be our host, okay? In the previous class, I teach you how to create this host, but the only thing that you need to do is once we create this, you are going to remove or sure that you change this, okay? All right, why you are going to do this? Because if you don't do it this way, it's going to show by mistake this UI to the players when they are in the lobby, when the game hasn't been started, and that is going to be very upset, okay? But the options you are going to put is click here, and you are going to move to player. And in player, you are going to select moving, okay? Guys, when you place moving, you are going to place an option here that is when any player moves away, okay? And we are going to have a lot of conditions, but this is just to make sure that the players that will be able to see this is just to show that information, okay? Let me see the chat. I see that there is a lot of controversy in the chat. Don't worry, guys. Just ignore the people that is being offensive. Actually, I'm fine because I didn't understand that. So if they are even saying me bad things on the chat, as I don't speak Vietnamese, I'm not going to understand. That's okay. And as you are students, don't worry for that. Probably I'm going to change the activity, and probably I'm going to set up some times to give the codes. So we are going to avoid a lot of players that doesn't want to learn, that just want the codes. So it will be better and comfortable for you guys, those that actually are trying to learn something, okay? So don't worry for that. Yeah, and as Lena Kisha says, not all the players from Vietnam are like that. There are just some few players, and that also happens in other language. There's people that only want the codes and they wasn't care about that. So probably the way that I can filter that is that it's a good idea to set up some times for that, but don't worry, okay? Not all Vietnamese players are like that. I'm going to say not most of them are just few people. So don't worry for that. It's okay. Okay, now let's continue. Let's use condition. And the first condition, guys, is we are going to use math. We are going to use numerical comparison. That is the first one. And remember, yesterday, we created these variables. If you don't have it, you need to check the class previously, but it's activity, okay? Remember, in our table, activity is a variable that is going to teach us or let us know which kind of game it's happening right now, okay? So what you are going to see is you are going to select activity, and it needs to be equals to 1, okay? That is going to be, remember, equals to 1. That's the first condition. And also on here, you are going to move to value, you are going to move to activity, and you are going to have it like this, like 0. You are going to change it to the number 1. Be sure that the default value is number 1, otherwise probably it's not going to work. Now, remember that we also create that next variable, so you are just going to hit copy and paste, and you are going to change that. We also have here another one that says next activity, okay? Activity is going to tell us what is going to happen in this time, and the next activity is going to tell us what is going to be, as the name says, the next activity on the game, okay? So just hit next activity and also put next to 1, okay? Remember, equal to 1. And in variable library, also you are going to move and you are going to search for next activity, and you have a 0 here. You need to be sure that delete it and you place a 1 on it, okay? Now we have this one that is going to be to check which player is who. So we need to check individual players, okay? So there is an option here. I don't remember where is it. Okay, it's this one, determine individual player. And remember, we do this because the actual trigger that says which one is the host, which one is the creator of the room is not working fine. So in the first class or in the second, I show you how to do this to create an artificial host, okay? And we name it as a devil. You can name it wherever you want, but we need to check that players in trigger event is the. And of course, in variables, you already create this variable, or you can have it as a devil or as a host. If you forgot this part, just check the second class. At the end of the class, you're gonna see that, okay? That is going to solve that. And very important, we need to create 2 variables more, okay? So we are going to just do another numerical comparison, and we are going to compare 2 variables. The first one you are going to create is going to be called total activities, okay? And what it's going to work, total activities is going to tell the game, hey, how many activities or how many mini games the player has been played, because remember that we are going to limit the amount of players that, or the amount of activities of the players can play, okay? Now, this is going to be very important. On this option, you need to place less or equals to, and on here, you are going to create a new variable. The variable is going to be also named as max activities, okay? So max activities, it's something that you can set up from here, okay? Once you add it, you can go here. And max activities, it's the amount of activities that the players will play before the game ends, okay? So as you see on here, on my game, you are going to play 2 activities before the game ends, okay? So you can set up manually that, and whenever you need it, just go to variables and just scroll down to here and you said, hey, I want to have 2 activities on this game, or I just want to have infinity activities, but this is just going to be cool to make the game end in some point. So I really recommend it to do it. In total activities, don't you worry, you can have the 0 on it, okay? Those are going to be the 4 conditions. And the actions are going to be very simple. Just hit interface and open interface. And that's it, okay? Once more, a review, we are going to just show this to the host if there are no more activities and the activity is equals to 1 and the next activity equals to 1. Remember, in our table, 1 means relax time. This means that we are not playing currently anything. We are just relaxing, waiting for the player to choose the activity, okay? And very important, remember, this needs to be off of the beginning. Now we are going to move back to show UE, okay, guys? We are going to just to wait a little bit on there. And I'm going to hide the user on the channel. Once more, and that's it. And now, guys, we are going to add the action, okay? The action is going to be trigger, change trigger status, and the trigger status is going to be show. So you have to choose on trigger on the first button, which one? Remember that we just create 2, so we are going to select show. And the state is going to be on. Remember, on in English means it's going to work, okay? I'm going to check this. I'm going to change it to auto show at start, at game start, okay? So it's going to be clear and it's going to be easier for all of you guys, okay? So you don't worry about that. It's going to be much easier to understand. And now we are going to create another one. As you see, we are going to create a new trigger, and the trigger name for this one is going to be very easy, guys. You don't have to worry about this one. It's kind of easy thing, okay? What you are going to put in here is that you are going to completely keep it off, because we are going to use this with triggers. We only are going to add an action. The action is interface, and we are going to close interface, okay? And we are going to choose on here players in trigger event, and we are going to choose which interface. So we are going to choose the current UE, the current user interface that we are working on. Okay, this is going to be the basics. This is going to be the system that we are going to use to hide or show everything, okay? All right, guys. So what will be the next? We have to create all those triggers. And today I want to finish this, so tomorrow we can see how it's going to work, the buttons. So let's start with some points, okay? We are going to start from the back, okay? The way I do this is because it's going to be easier to set up. So first trigger, you are going to add a new trigger, and the name is going to be add score. And this is going to be kind of easy to do, okay? So as you see, there is no conditions, no events, just actions. And the first action is a value setup, okay? So how do you do this? Just go to assigned and select value setup. And we are going to have this mix, okay? So the first one, we are going to choose a private variable. That means a player variable that is going to be our score meter, okay? So how we do this? We are going to choose here. We are going to select function library, and we are going to select player, okay? In player, we are going to select player private value, and under we're gonna choose players in trigger event, and we are going to create a new variable, okay? The new variable is going to be named our measure full scored, okay? That's going to be the actual score that the players can win in the different activities, okay? So in the different activities, you are going to select our measure full scored, okay? And then we need to set up the second value here. So for the second square, you are going to select function library, math, and numerical calculation, okay? In numerical calculation, we can just do mathematical operations. So in the first one, we are going to just do the same function library, pliers, and we are going to select pliers private value, okay? So this is the base of the number that we are going to use. We are going just to select the same that we select before, pliers and trigger event, and in variables, we are going to select measure full scored, okay? In the middle, we have to choose the option to add. Remember that this is going to add. And then we got this option here. In this option, we are going to go to function library. Once more, we are going to select plier, and we are going to select plier private variable, okay? And we are going to select pliers and trigger event, and this time we are going to create a different variable, okay guys? When we create a different variable, let me show you what we are going to do with this. Every time an activity finishes, we are going to get the score that the players won during this specific activity, and we are going to add it to the full score for all the sessions, okay? It's like accumulating points on any game, okay? So for this, we are going to create a new one that will be called our measure, okay? That stands for awesome measure. It's like a resume. And that's it, okay? Now, we are going to add another value setup, okay? We are going to add once more action assigned, and we are going to do value setup, okay? Now, we are going to just do the same function library, okay? We are going to go to pliers, and we are going to select plier private variable. And we are going to select awesome measure, and we are going to set up to 150, okay? I'm going to teach you that later, but our awesome measure goes from 1 to 300, and always that we start with a game, we start in the middle, so that means that we can get 150 points more, or we can reduce our score. So that's why, okay? Every time that a game finishes, we are going to reset that awesome measure, so the players will be able to win prizes again, okay? Now, let's do this. Yeah, I see that at night, and I know that probably a lot of you are not understanding everything because you know it's in English, guys, and most of you are from Asia. But remember that with the resume, the video that I submit after this one, it has actually subtitles. You can activate the closed caption. So with that, you can read what I said and you can change it to your languages, okay? Now, guys, at 8:30, I'm going to give the code, so don't worry for that, for those that are waiting, okay? Now, guys, now we are going to create a new trigger. The trigger is going to be clear items, okay? And what it's going to do this is going to remove all the items for the player, okay? So how do you do this, guys? Once more, is another thing that you don't need to put any event on it because we are going to use it later. What you are going to do is that you are going to set the next actions, okay? So this action doesn't exist in triggers, so we are going to do it manually with scripts, okay? As this doesn't exist in triggers. And for this, we need to create a new variable, okay? So we need to set a player. For this, just scroll down, go as to assigned, and you are going to select a player, okay? Player setup. Okay, and you are going to create a variable. The variable is going to be named as best or as a player ID, okay? This is going to be very important, guys. You need to put it like I put it, just the same spelling, player ID, all with lowercase and all together, okay? And we are going to set up as a player in triggered event, okay? Now, we are going to add an action, and the action is going to be in scripts and execute scripts, okay? When you do that, you are going to have this. You have to click on here, and you have to change the name here. You're going to put it like this, okay? And I'm going to place this code in the script page. So remember, we have the script page in the description from the video. So you will be able to use it whenever you want it. But let me show you, okay? So you are going to move here. Okay. You are going to move to the script section. Remember, I always place this script section, and you are going to move to the one that says Tycoon. I see that there is no one called Tycoon yet. Oh yeah, it's this one. Actually, we are going to change the name, so it's going to be easier for you. Okay. For changing the name of this, I don't remember how to do it. Okay, but okay, let me try to change the name here. Okay, so to change the name here, we are going to change the name. Okay, oh, okay. I forgot that I cannot use on this browser because I'm not logging in my account. That's why I can't. But just give me a second, okay? On here, we are going to just do the same. Okay, you are going to go to YeyoScripts. Don't worry, I'm going to place down that. And you are going to move to party, okay? I know that is not on where it's supposed to be, so we are going to change that. We are going to it. And we are going to... Okay, it will not allow me to do it. Yeah, it seems that I cannot do it. So you are going to select party. It doesn't matter, guys. Remember, it's going to be party. And I'm going to add this file because it's going to be easier for you. Okay. I'm going to place the code here and I'm going to place the name clear items. Okay. All right. So you only need to copy this code. Okay. I'm going to save it and I'm going to show you guys. Okay. I'm going to put this in the chat. Okay, I see. So it seems that there is a problem with the subtitles. Okay, so guys, this one. Okay, so you are going to copy this. Just copy. You remember that you can just put on here, or if you are in cell phone, you have to copy only those two lines. Be sure that you are not going to be translates, and just paste it. Okay. Remember, the name of the variable needs to be here. Okay, and that's it. This is going to clear the player's inventory. So that means that every time that activity finishes, if the player has some items, it are going to be completely deleted from the player. Okay. All right. So remember the link also for the scripts that you can use. It's just in the description. So just check the description for this video. Let's continue with it now that you see the codes. Let's change, and we left those, but we are going to do until teleport, and the next class we are going to see those, and we are going to see the buttons. Okay, actually this part of the bottom is going to be easy. You only need to make one button, and this you copy and paste, and you change just a number on the top, and this on the top, that is going to be the location, and everything else is going to be almost the same. Okay, so this part is going to be easier. The hardest part is this one, but we are going to work the half today and the half after that. So I mentioned that this is going to remove all the items, guys. You can use it for any map you want. It's a quick way to do it. You can do it directly with the scripts, but I know, guys, that a lot of you doesn't like the scripts too much, so you can use this mixed version. Now let's move to give items. Okay, so how it's going to work, give items. Give items is going to automatically do or add the items from the players, and you don't have to worry about that. So for using this, that is why yesterday we made variables. Remember these variables that were groups and they have the different items? Well, this system will automatically add those items and you don't have to worry for do too much. So how it's going to work, we need to, once more, we are not going to use any event, guys. We are not going to use any condition. And what we are going to do is add something extra. We are going to go to pliers and we are going to move to add an item. Okay, that's the action what we are going to use. It's very simple, and the action is going to have three different frames. Okay, remember, this is going to be the amount, this is going to be the item, and this is going to be the plier. So for the amount, we are going to click in function library, and you just need to scroll down and select group. Okay, and then you are going to select value ID in a value group. Okay, once you got this, you are going to have this. Okay, so in the first one, we need to choose the key. Okay, and let me illustrate this with something like this. Okay, all right, so imagine that this is going to be the key. Okay, the key means the activity that we are playing. Okay, the activity that we are playing is going to have a number. Okay, so let me place here key. Let me reduce the text a little bit so it's going to be clearer for you. And let's put another color that is going to look better. So this is going to be the key. So if we are playing the activity number 5, it's going to give us the items in the activity number 5 because we are here. Okay, and that's exactly what we are going to do. The activity, it's going to be the key, or it's going to be the value that we are going to use from the group. So on the first one, we need to use the key. And for this, just scroll down and select here in variable library activity. Okay, this is the activity that is happening, and then we need to choose the group. So in variable library, we are just going to select the group. Remember, first we are going to give the item number 1. So we are going to select item number 1. Remember, yesterday we create those groups. And then we got the second option, that is going to be which item we are going to give to the player. And what you have to do is just the same template library. This time you are going, this is not the one, it's function library. And this one, you have to scroll down in where it says item type. You are going to have that option that says item ID on the item group. You select that one, and it's almost the same. In the first one, you are going to put the key. Remember that the key always is going to be the activity that we are playing right now. And then we are going to select in variable item ID. Remember, item ID is going to tell us which game, and item number, which item, and item number, how much stacks is going to have this one. Okay, and once more, we are just going to select pliers in trigger event. Okay, so let me show you once more. So number 5 is going to be the key. Item 1, item 2, item 3, and here the item number. We are going to give one stack, so that's going to be item number. We are going to give 128 for this and this. Okay, so remember, we are going to use always the key. Now, guys, we just need to copy and paste, and in the new, you are going to change. So you used to have number 1 here. Remember, we got it like this. You need to change it for number 2. And on here, you do the same. In the second one, you select the activity, and then you choose once more the item number, the item that is going to be this time number 2. And you copy and paste once more, and you have the number 3 instead of the number 2. You see here, we have the different numbers, okay? So if you add more items, you can place more variables here. Remember, the variables are item groups, 1, 2, 3, because we are going to give 3 items per activity. But if you want to have more, you have to create more of this, item 4, item 5, item 6. And also you can change that on here, item number 1, item number 2, and item number 3. Remember that yesterday we created this, okay? If you have an error like me, probably you are going to have the same error, and is that in some parts I got this fruit wood. That means that we are not going to give any item to the player in that one. You can add also a new action that is going to be erased any amount of fruit wood, but it's not needed. It's just in case you mess up like I did, so don't worry for that. Okay. Okay, let me see here. It seems that Miss Queen access and I wasn't able to see it. Oh yeah, it seems that is in the account from Miniword. So welcome, Mini, Madam Queen. Welcome to the streaming as always. You are more than welcome to this streaming. The teacher from Thailand. Uh huh. Oh yeah, that's Madam Queen, of course. And welcome, ultra welcome for Madam Queen. Okay, and then we are going to create a new script, a new trigger. Okay, that's the last that we are going to learn today. In the next week, we are going to learn how to create those extra scripts that actually are the important one. This is like extra functions that we are going to use to do the things a little bit easier. But actually, those four first are going to be the ones that manage all the game, okay? But we are going to learn this last one, and for the next week, we are going to learn the others, okay? So you are going to create a new trigger that is going to be called teleport. What is going to do teleport, as the name says, is going to move all the players to the actual area where we are going to play. So if you are playing in, or we are going to play it in the art room, in my case, we are going to move the players there. If we are going to play it in the beach, we are going to move the players there automatically just by doing this, okay? Once more, no actions, no conditions, just actions, okay? And first, we are going to add an area, okay? So, how do you do this? You are going to scroll down, you are going to select as assigned, and you are going to select area setup, okay? Sorry, not area, I mistake that. It was my mistake, sorry. So you are going to select assigned and location setup. Don't select area, just select location. It's going to be up and good for you. Okay, I added just here. I'm just going to delete it because I already have it right there. And what I need you, oh, that's cool. Did you realize, guys, that we have new button? This is going to be very useful. When you made a mistake, you don't have to add it at the end. You can just insert it right there. I just noticed, I didn't realize it's a new thing, okay? I have to test that before teaching you, but it seems that it's going to work for that, okay? So once you select the location, in the first one, we are going to select once more a private variable. So just go to player and select player's private variable, okay? And on here, you just select players in trigger event once more. And on here, you need to create a new variable. You are going to call it spawn area. Spawn area is that we are going to create a virtual area where the players are going to move around that area when they are going to be teleported, okay? Now, we are going to select as random area in the location, okay? So how do you do that? In the second square, you are going to select function library, and we are going to select random location in the area, okay? And on the top of that, we are going to create a new variable. The variable is going to be called next activity area. We are going to set up another trigger that, but automatically it's going to choose the area depending on which button we press, okay? Now, we are going to do a second thing, and is that we are going to use that variable for everything else. So we are going to be sure that we don't take like a lot of locations, that the player always is going to have the same location. So first we are going to change the spawn point for the player. Just select player and change spawn point, respawn point, this one. And once more we select respawn a changes point of a players and trigger event. On here we are going to use again player and players private location. And once more we are going to select players and trigger event and the variable that we create at the beginning, that is going to be spawn area. That is going to be a location. Choose that from the variables. Then we are going to move the player to that location. How do we do that? Just go here. Go to players, you are going to select move player, change location, it's right here, okay? And you are going to put the same conditions, okay? It's almost the same of this one. You are going to change players in trigger event current location to players in trigger event spawn area, okay? It's just the same. As you realize, also you need to place here players private variable to be able to see that, and it's almost the same of the other, okay? Now, apart from that, as always, we use a sound or we use an effect to let the players see a feedback about that. Remember to give feedback is the part that makes a game enjoyable or generic, okay? So try to always place feedback every time that you use. And when I mean feedback, effects, sound effects, text, and wherever you need to make the player understand that something is happening in their map, okay? So what you are going to do now is just add a simple sound. You remember to add the sound, just like on here, scroll down, select sound effect, players turns sound effect, and on there you can use whatever sound, and I use this one. And to make it sound more like a cartoonish, I place a 2 here, okay? So it's going to be a little bit more faster, and it's going to have a different tone than a normal sound. You can choose a skill 14, and as you see, the other options are the default. Once more, this is the sound. Okay. And then I add a special effect against once more in the player to avoid creating effects in the area, the necessary effects. So select play effects on the players and select any kind of effect. I select the one that says light effect number 1, that is this one. That is most of the times the one that you use for when you reborn, when you are teleported, so you can use that one. And in players trigger event. And that's it, guys. With this, we have a basic part about our brain. Remember, next class, we are going to advance the other 4 triggers, and we are going to also create the buttons, so you will see our system that you can use to create any kind of interface, any kind of menu, okay? For now, that will be it for the class. Remember the codes, I already placed it on the chat. So in case you need to copy those, you just need to click on the chat, okay?